everybody. Welcome back. For those of you who've been here before, I'm Kurt Roth, and you've stumbled across the 505 SVF, Sports Venture Foundation program. We come to you weekly to discuss what's going on at the University of New Mexico in the athletics world, name, image, and likeness, and anything else that pops into mind that we believe can help grow economic strength here in Albuquerque and New Mexico. We're coming to you through the courtesy of ProView Networks. We're live high above Central Avenue in the studio of ProView. I want to thank Steve Davis, our president and basically benefactor, also a member of the 505 Sports Venture, a generous donor. And I want to thank my producer behind the glass, Adrian, still basking in the glow of last year's World Series. Doesn't give me a break and remind me of the results. And he does an incredible job. So, all right, peeps. Got a couple of seconds to talk to you before we bring on our special guest. If you follow athletics and UNM, you know that we just came out of the basketball portal. And now we're finishing up the football portal. It's a very important time at UNM and at college across the country. We also have a brand new basketball coach. We've started from scratch. We have an incredible program. We just didn't have any players. If you watch, we're up to 8. The roster's filling in. It's exciting, but we need your help. We need your help with recruitment. We need your help with retention. So it's 505sports.org. Check it out, become part of the team, help us grow success on the playing field in the economic forum of Albuquerque and the state of New Mexico. 505sports.com. 505sports.org, excuse me. Anyway, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back with our special guest. Stay with us.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Jacory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
When we come back. Hey everybody, welcome back. Again, I'm Kurt Roth, and this is the 505 Sports Venture Foundation program. Our weekly attempt to get you involved in UNM athletics, name, image, and likeness, and making Albuquerque, the University of New Mexico, and the state of New Mexico a great place to live and work. All right, I got to introduce our special guest. He's been here before. He's familiar to Lobo sports fans, JJ Buck. JJ, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So we all know JJ works out of the big national company Cumulus. Local guy, does Lobo ladies baskets. Does a TV radio show almost every morning, I guess. We see it on the air with our friend Jeff Symbieta. And welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so here we go. We were talking off camera. It's a wild time for sports. Although college, and we're going to get to the Lobos and men's and women's and football and basketball. If you go into a sports bar, you walk in, there's 20 TVs. There's 3 NBA games, ice hockey. I saw the other night, like the USFL or whatever it's called. They're playing pro football and whatever else. And we just came out of the Masters. There's golf all the time. So it is a cool time for sports. You guys must have a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah, it's an unbelievable time. Stanley Cup playoffs, NBA playoffs, and college athletics, too, is in a world where they can compete with the news cycle now with the transfer portal and the roster building that is continuous. There's just so much content to consume as a sports fan. So my job, as someone who just sits down and talk about it Monday through Friday, it's definitely an easy time of year just because there's so much to react to. But it also, it's one of those moments that you're reminded, how fun this is and why it's a passion for so many people. And like yourself, and you pursue something because athletics can mean so much to so many people.
Oh, it's great. No doubt about it. I love just being able to sit around and throw it and chop it up with you. So we did discuss right off the bat, I am a long-time suffering Knicks fan. We go back to last century when we really had success and competed for championships. And, of course, my guys took it on the chin from the Pistons in the Garden on Monday night. We don't want to go there. But we did talk about the NBA before we came on. And you surprised me with who you think's going to emerge as a champion. Who do you like?
I like the Celtics. I know I'm picking the defending champ, but they're the deepest team in the NBA, in my opinion, when you have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and then it's Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford. Like, they come at you in so many ways. And, when you look at the NBA, we've gone through the different eras, like the super team era, the really good team era, which I think we're still in, going from like Steph's Warriors to what the Celtics are right now. In the NBA, for as much talk about, the super teams and stars joining up, like we've had 6 different champs the last 6 years. Right. So I do think it's an opportunity for a repeat champion. But, the game of basketball right now across the board is very exciting.
Oh, it's incredible. I watch like I said, I'm a Knicks fan. So the Knicks had a winning record. Jalen Brunson, one of the more exciting ball players. Yeah. They beat no good teams. They beat no teams with better records the whole year. And what you see, though, that I find really fascinating is these series, these long series. You play the same team. There's emotions. There's a little, I don't want you to call it chippiness, but, guys are talking to the same guy each and every other night. And the coaching is so good for the most part. They're prepared for what they've seen, but the competition gets crazy. So I don't know. As a Knicks fan, we're not even considering them. I think they're going to go to 7 games in a toss-up with Detroit, and then that'll be the end. But I mean, OKC, Cleveland. I can't figure out the West. I don't know any. One night Denver looks like, the Joker comes through, and then the next night they lay an egg. So, and then Kawhi, we saw Kawhi come up. Like, where I thought he was retired. Here comes Kawhi, he misses 40 games a year. So it's an incredible time. What strikes me is watching these playoff games is the talent level and the size of these guys. You don't throw the ball into the post, and you don't have Shaquille and guys who bounce it and lay it in. You got 6'10" guys shooting 3-pointers.
Yeah, the evolution of the game. everyone is athletic 1 through 5 in that league. You got to be able to move your feet. You got to be able to play inside and out. And what you see in the NBA playoffs, is a 7-game series. It's long enough where the best team is usually going to win, as opposed to March Madness, where it's just kind of any given day scenario. But you finally get that type of energy in the NBA. It is a long regular season. I think with these big sports, it's very regionalized during the regular season, but the playoffs come around, and you get that kind of wow factor. Like, okay, these guys are the best of the best. The game is in a pretty good spot. You can complain about a bunch of things during regular season, but when you see these guys at the highest level, playing meaningful basketball, it's a reminder of, why this game is so explosive and why it's so fun.
Well, I think they had the best ratings this weekend, TV ratings that they've had in almost 10 years. So Adam Silver was all over being all happy and whatnot. But yeah, the other thing that just blows me away is the NBA regular season is just too long. And there's too many lulls, and they rest these guys. They sit out, and they have an injury that lasts 5 games extra. But the playoffs are a marathon. I mean, I was looking now at going through these series. It ends in late June. So the health, the physicality is so key. So you're right. I guess if you like the Celtics, you can look at the depth and say, hey, there's all sorts of different ways they can go. And of course, we also mentioned if Tatum is hurt, that's an issue. If he's banged up, that's one thing. But if he can go, so they got a great shot. All right, so you've got the Celtics. I don't know. I think I got OKC winning the whole thing. But I haven't been right in 15 years, so
takes one.
No one listens to me. I'll become an expert. So I think we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We'll go back. We'll start talking about UNM. And I think we'll start off with a relatively successful franchise, but kind of underappreciated in the Lady Lobos. Let's start there. So, hey, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with you with our guest, J.J. Buck. Stay with us.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots. Got shots. Got shots.
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Part 2 of today's 505 SVF program. I'm here with media star J.J. Buck. He's all over radio, TV. You can hear him every morning. Lady Lobo basketball. All right, so that's a good place to start. We've seen a lot of attention on football throughout the spring. The Journal does an incredible job with Sean doing football. Grammer's all over men's basketball. Sickinger's great, but the Lady Lobos have been kind of second page. Pretty good offseason for Mike Bradbury in retention.
Excellent offseason in retention. We look at just 5 players in the transfer portal, and all the players that left, the interaction I've had with them, it's good. But you also see, that they're bench players, and maybe with the new players coming in the transfer portal, playing time wasn't quite there. So I think when you look at the transfer portal overall, this was a very good window where they didn't lose impactful players. And that's just the reality of the situation. There was bench depth there, but players that were going to step into a starting role, they didn't lose those players. this offseason. And I know the coaching staff is also very excited about the high school recruits that they've signed, plus, of course, attacking the transfer portal. So even with the disappointing end to the season, I think they're really excited about what they can do next year.
I agree. Well, remind me, because I'm half senile. Theoretically, possibly, Lady Lobos lost their best player to an injury last year. Center, she sat on the bench. Clarissa?
Yeah, Clarissa Craig. So a 6'3" center, transferred from Cincinnati. Hurt her shoulder before the season started, took a medical redshirt this past season. And it's one of those, it was really a bummer, but it benefits New Mexico because this could be a better roster this season where she's the starting center with some more athleticism around her and some more experience. And the coaching staff loves her. She is a true post player. Dump the ball inside. She can score inside. You can hit the mid-range jumper. And, of course, the defensive presence, which at times last year for the Lobos, they struggled with the depth inside.
They certainly did. You would see some games where there would be series. It was odd. It wouldn't be the whole game. There'd be a 5-minute period where, they either couldn't make a shot or couldn't get a rebound. It would be frustrating. All right, I just want to take just step back for a second. We can't name names, but for Lady Lobo fans or Lobo fans in general, Coach Bradbury is on some really major league talent. One recruit in particular might be able to turn a whole program around. We'll see. I think we'll be breaking that news, I hope, in the next week or two. But Bradbury heads into his 10th year, and a very interesting career. Yep. A high level of success during the regular season. I mean, they're in the top 3 almost every year in the Mountain West. But
yeah, and Coach has talked about it, and they want to make an impact in Vegas, and they have to, because right now the Mountain West on the women's side, there's some good programs with history, but it's still only a one-bid league. And so you have to be good in Las Vegas to give yourself a chance to get to the NCAA tournament. And unfortunately, for the last 5 years, it's been San Diego State that's knocked them out of the Mountain West tournament. But they're focused on that. And I think with the experience plus the talent going into next season, that will be something that this team changes.
Yeah, well, if you want to help the Lady Lobos, 505sports.org, you can donate and become a supporter of a specific team or student athlete. If you're a Lady Lobo fan, 505sports.org. Let's help Mike Bradbury keep this roster strong and improve it. All right, so now men's basketball ends. The portal's over. A lot of big names still out there. More than half the kids, I don't think, have landed. And statistics show almost a 25-30% won't go anywhere. And then we have the fluff with all these guys with no eligibility, but they're waiting on a ruling. And we know Lobo started from scratch. Yesterday we get an announcement of a 7'1" dude. So, what do you think the sense? What's your sense of what's happened so far?
Well, one, I think people understand that whether your coach comes back or not, turnover is here year to year. Look at Baylor. They lost their entire roster. They didn't fire the coach. They want to, they've been in a national championship game just in the last 4 years. That's a part of the process. But I think is fascinating for Eric Olin coming in, being able to work with your collective. So he has that great foundation. But it's one where he gets to start from scratch. And so this is one where there's championship expectations at UNM. I don't want to say you lower the bar, but you understand maybe it's not quite that level in year one. But when you get to handpick your entire roster of guys that you want to play to your specific style, I do think that's a different set of expectations than any other time a first-year coach would come in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And reputation-wise, fan support-wise, media-wise, we're at the top of the heap. 17-3. All right, you start again, but you're not starting from no tournaments in 10 years. A soiled program. This is a very successful program, and I keep harping on that. We're in a great place. I've been able to work closely with Coach O, and he has a plan. Let me say, and for seasoned basketball fans, what you might see is some sorting out. You may see a kind of strange non-conference season, but I have a feeling, I'm just very confident. And the roster's not filled out. It's very close. There's some kind of names that I think UNM fans will be familiar with. But I think come Mountain West time, his style, his determination, great young staff. I think the Lobos are really gonna show up and be really entertaining. Again, you want to help men's basketball? 505sports.org. Get online, help us out. Don't go to Starbucks for a week. Send us the $17.50 you spend on the double latte. Anyway, all right, we're going to take a break in a few, but the football portal closes Friday. So I can imagine Coach Eck and his staff. Well, we've gotten good news. Got a couple transfers this week, some guys who will play. Yesterday, it's in the paper today, but we're still waiting to see what happens midnight, I guess, or 6 o'clock on Friday. So we'll all hold our collective breath. We're going to take a break, and we'll talk about football, UNM football, when we get back. Stay with us.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Kurt Roth. It's the 505 SVF program. Our special guest, JJ Buck, local media superstar. See him everywhere. Lobo ladies. All right, so we've talked about the NBA. You love the Celtics. We've talked about the Mike Bradbury and the Lady Lobos. Probably in a real good spot. We'll see how he feels in the roster. Things are looking good. We know that he's on some big-time players. We're not permitted to discuss those yet, but I think you'll see in the next week or two some really important stuff with Lady Lobos. The men, brand new deal. Yeah. Starting from the ground up. We feel that Eric Olin's like kind of the good guy for this job. Young, different style. All right, so football. Perennially a disappointment. Let's face it. We've been here. You're a native New Mexican. I've been watching football since 1973. A hell of a lot more losing seasons than winning seasons. Why should we be and I am optimistic. I also get to work closely with Coach Eck. It's a blast. He's got a plan. He's super positive. He's super smart. But why should the average Lobo fan be optimistic? What do you feel?
Well, as a sports fan, you always got to have a little bit of hope, regardless. If you think about maybe the professional teams you root for, and if they have terrible stretches, well, why are you still a fan? Well, it's a connection you have, and you have a deeper connection to the universities. You know, whether you went there or you grew up, in the city. And I think just as a sports fan, you always got to have some hope, regardless. It's just part of our DNA, regardless of what's happening. But also, with what Coach Eck is bringing in, it is a different vibe. And, embracing the community doesn't automatically mean success. Danny Gonzalez was great in the community, but it is important to keep hope, for fans to want to keep supporting you, you got to embrace the community. Last year's Lobo football team, it was what it was on the field. It didn't have a good community vibe to it. But I think Coach X is coming in. He's opening it up. You saw it last Friday. Like, my kid was out there at that kids clinic. Had a blast, man. There was like 150 kids out there. Mm-hmm. And it's little moments like that can build a fan base, can spark someone for the future, but also keep you invested. I think it starts there, and then, yes, it's the talent. It's the execution of the game plan. And while Coach Eck has a lot of work to do, I think in the new look Mountain West, well, is it watered down a little bit? It could be, but that's an opportunity then to climb that ladder and leave your mark.
Yeah, let's win the Mountain West in 2 years. Why not? I think they'll be competitive. What I like, and I listen, I work closely with Bronco. I lived next door to the man. I loved his approach. I was disappointed to see him go. I understand why he went. No grudge from me. He had a completely different recruiting style. What Bronco was doing was going into the portal and looking at maybe disgruntled P4 guys who weren't getting opportunities. So you got a lot of guys who were recruited out of high school but didn't play. X doing something a little different. He's going down a level to pick kids up who have played and been successful. Does that translate?
I think it does. Now, you're not going to be 100% either way, with all your recruits, but the fact that in this era of college athletics, you need experience. Like, experience matters. However you get that, whether it's a freshman playing or coming up a level, if you're one of the best players in Division II football, you can play FBS football. Those players, if they can get to the NFL from that level, they can absolutely play in the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, I like the idea that not only have they played, but for the most part, they're used to winning. Yeah. So, going into, if you have a bunch of guys who were in the playoffs last year at the lower level, and you go into Ann Arbor on opening day, they're bigger, so what? We've beaten good teams. We can play with these guys. So for one, I'm very excited. For all you Lobo football fans, though, again, you want to contribute, you want to help us retain players that are in the portal, recruit players that are coming out of the portal to UNM, 505sports.org. Any contribution is we're grateful for. Every little bit helps. So I guess if you know Coach Eck, Friday night when the portal closes, if everything goes well, it might be time for a adult beverage.
Yeah, I think anytime the portal closes and you are able to retain the majority of what you want, you kick back just a little bit as a coach and have some enjoyment because the next morning you're probably going to be on the phone having to fill some spots.
That's right. No doubt about it. So that's what happens Friday. Football portal closes. Lobos may be under the radar because of the roster redo, but they have some, if you were at the game last week, they have some big-time talent that could just jump in the portal. So far, so good. So we'll see. All right, well, listen, we've hit NBA, Lady Lobos, men, football. Anything else? What are we missing before we close it up?
Like I said, this is just such a great time of year, and one of the things we see in college athletics, while it might be challenging for fans to understand the new era, it's absolutely exciting because it's constant. This is something that college athletics didn't have. It was like a true off-season where you discussed rosters, you talked about players, and you have that now. It's a part of the news cycle, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. We saw this, if you're an old guy and you were a baseball fan when free agency came, a football fan when all the free agencies, it created a whole off-season. Yeah. And it kept interest. And it actually, despite what everyone says, when it happens, it helps the sport. It grows. It grows money invested. It grows interest. All right. Well, listen, man, I want to say thanks. Thanks for coming. We'll get you back when Bradbury's season's ready. We'll get an update. Maybe late August we'll start talking college baskets. We'll be in football, but we'll be able to talk Lady Lobos. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And for everybody else out there, it's your opportunity to own stock in your Lobos. We need your help. Everyone can pitch in. The money you donate, whether it's $1 or $1 million, and we are looking for that $1 million donor, we're grateful for. So do whatever you can. Check us out, 505sports.org. It's 505sports.org. We'll see you next week. Thanks for being with us. Take care.